Okay, so this is Amali Cabral from www.cslawinfo.us, www.cslawinfo.us. And I know a lot of you have been following me concerning this trial I'm going through and the motions I put forward. And they ended up denying 3 of my motions without any inculpatory evidence stating my guilt, all because I asked them, what is your empirical evidence that just because I reside in the state of California that your laws and constitution apply to me? Where's the evidence? So instead of being honest or intellectually honest, they were intellectually dishonest, and they just used argumentum ad vernaculum, which means appeal to the stick, force and coercion. So after forcing an attorney on me for a 3rd time, I'm dealing with her today. I go to this massive structure. This is the courthouse in downtown Los Angeles, okay? This is the courthouse, okay? Over here are the banking buildings. So the tallest buildings within the county, in which most counties across America, are the government and the banks. That's just a little side note. But anyway, so I knew I probably wouldn't get anywhere with this woman, so I started preparing my own paperwork as usual. This is our motion to dismiss. Okay, it's about 8 pages. And it goes into anything from the court lacks jurisdiction because they lack the 7 elements, all the way to the exclusionary rule, which basically is available to a defendant in a criminal case as a remedy for illegal searches that violate the rights set forth in the 4th Amendment. Okay, so this is our motion to dismiss. We also list a lot of Supreme Court cases. Okay, you would put your signature there, so on and so forth. Okay, then accompanying that is our affidavit. Okay, so you have an affidavit here. Real simple, just accompanying the motion, making it official. Affidavit is what you get notarized, okay? So anyways, I went in there and I've just listened. I was telling her, everything is prepared. She wants to argue the facts. It does not matter, I keep telling you guys, it does not matter what the facts are. It doesn't matter if you're caught on camera, it doesn't matter if you're caught with eyewitnesses, it does not matter. Think of it like this. Think of it like this, okay? When you're at a court or in a courtroom, you want to stop all force or all prosecution towards you at the door. You don't want to immediately rush into the middle of the courtroom, into the fire pit, and start fighting your way back out to the exit or entrance. You want to stop right at that entrance so you have the door behind you so you can get out. And she didn't understand this. She thinks we have to go and argue about what the police are saying and all that. All that is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. As I always say, what they first have to prove is, do you have empirical evidence just because I'm in the state of California that your laws and your constitution apply to me? Where is the evidence that just because I'm in the state of California that your laws and your evidence apply to me? And they don't have any, because logically, without some sort of force, manipulation, or fear, I cannot get another human being to do anything. So what do they use? They use argumentum ad vernaculum, which means appeal to the stick, or they use force. They use their Glock 17s. They come in numbers. They put their hands on you without you consenting, mind you. If I was to put my hands on another human being in public, that guy would probably punch me in the face. But yet they feel they have some sort of authority only because somebody's telling them they do. And that's exactly the same with the laws. The law has no authority over you other than what somebody else says it does. And you don't even know these other people that are saying the law has authority over you. So why would you want to obey something like that, which is showing you that these people really could care less about you? They're not even, it's not even your loved ones putting these laws on you. It's complete strangers that have proven themselves over and over and over that they love to take, murder, and kill in order to get their way. So I have this woman, this public attorney called Nettle Saul, right? And this is my evidence. This is what I wrote down. I wrote this down. I wrote it down. I kept notes. That's her name, Nettle. I kept notes while she was while I was asking her questions. I kept asking her. Where is the jurisdiction? Where is the evidence that just because I reside in the state of California that your laws and constitution apply to me? Where is the evidence? So the attorney says there is no evidence. So you see it right there. Nettle is saying there's no evidence by judge, prosecution, state. It's just a given. And she says that 4 times. You see where I wrote 4? She says that 4 times. She says it's just a given that because I reside in the state of California that somehow their laws apply to me. That is not evidence. Evidence depends on tests and experimentation. That's why scientists can't come out and say a new disease exists, because they first have to have evidence before the medical companies will pick it up. So you see what they do? Do not be fooled. When they have no evidence, they say, well, that's just a given. So I explained to her, well, if it's such a given, then I'll make up a law today. Matter of fact, I'll make up a law right now. You cannot wear the high heels that you're wearing because I say so. And she said, why? And I said, well, it's just a given. With no evidence, it does not exist. Nothing exists without evidence. Next, I ask her for where are in your penal codes, in your criminal procedure codes, in the Constitution, in the Bill of Rights, in the U.S. California District Court law, where does it say that just because I reside in the state, in the county, in wherever in America, where does it say that just because I reside here that I have to follow your Constitution and laws? Where does it say that? And this is what she said. She says, the law exists in books. So I ask her, what book does the law exist? What book does the law exist? What book? She says the vehicle code. I asked her, okay, the vehicle code. Do you have a vehicle code book copy in the back where we were at? She said, yes, I do. I asked her to bring it out. She wouldn't bring it out. Because they're cowards. They know that the law does not exist other than a few 400 people that are sadistic, psychopathic, and their intent is to keep taking from us. Those are the only people that say exist. So 2 challenges she failed at. Then I asked her a logical question. A very logical question. I asked her, are you afraid of being disbarred or losing your job? She said yes. This is the key. And this is why I tell everybody, do not get a public defender. Do not pay a fucking lawyer. Do not pay these people. They are the scum of the earth. And I'm telling you why. Even if their heart wants them to do good, they will not do good out of fear of losing their status and their jobs. Because I asked her point blank. Because I could see her. When I started questioning her, she started trembling. That's what they usually do. I had one guy, I had his eyes rolling in the back of his head like he was going to have a heart attack one time when I asked him the same questions. She said she feared being disbarred and she feared losing her job if she puts in my lack of jurisdiction motions. Because the law does not exist, she feared losing her job. Then she said, I'm not going to show you. She said she's not going to show me the law exists because it does exist. Oh my God, this is a logical fallacy. It is a big logical fallacy. Saying that something is just because I say so is circular reasoning. It's not evidence. It's logical fallacy. Okay, look it up. Google it. Google it right now. Logical fallacy. It's when somebody makes an argument that they can't back up with evidence and just cop out and say, well, it is because it is. That doesn't make any sense. So she says the law exists just because it does. That's what she says. She says the law exists just because it does. When in reality, the law doesn't exist. The law only exists because they use argumentum ad bellacum or they use force. Because they're the real murderers, the real criminals, and the real psychopaths. And believe me, they know it too. That's why they always grin and laugh. And their day's coming too. That's on another side note. Then I asked her, is criminal law used to force those laws? No, I'm sorry. She said that. She said this. She said She said there's no evidence for jurisdiction because it does not exist. Criminal law is used to force those laws. Criminal law is used to force those laws. She said criminal law is used to force those laws. Now listen to the word force. Again, it goes back to argumentum ad bellacum, appeal to the stick, which basically means if I have a Glock 17, if I have a bunch of men and women behind me, if I have the power to physically put you in an 8x8 box, then that means the criminal law exists. That doesn't mean the criminal law exists. That just means you're no different than the mafia. That just means you're no different than the gangs that you condemn, like the Bloods and the Crips. That does not mean the law exists. What would mean that the law exists is if I can go out somewhere, and I could see on the ground somewhere where it says Los Angeles County, or it says the city of Los Angeles. I don't see that anywhere. I don't see, and anybody living in LA will tell you there's nothing on the ground anywhere, not even on the ground they create, which is concrete, that says, look, there's nothing that says Los Angeles, the county of Los Angeles. There's nothing, because that would be stupid. That would be illogical. That'd be a logical fallacy to say, well, the Los Angeles County exists because I say it exists. Okay, well, I say pink unicorns exist because I say exist. Are you going to believe that there's pink unicorns? No. Lastly, I asked her, do you expect us to win? Do you expect us to win with your argument that we're going to argue the facts? She said no. She says, I wrote, you do not expect us to win, but she basically said she does not expect us to win. So what that means is, once again, they want you to cop out to a deal, which again puts you under the jurisdiction or authority of these people once again. Okay? So this is the game, people. I'm just letting you know to not give up just because you're probably facing a losing battle. You always want to stand up for yourself. Most people, when they get into actual physical fights with people, even if there's a chance you're going to lose, you're still going to defend yourself if you're not a coward. Okay? So you're not going to win every time against these people. Look at this stuff. Look how big this building is. Look how many offices. Look how many people are in here against you. You're not going to win every battle, okay? You're not. So sometimes you just got to basically do what you got to do. But you're not going to lose every battle. You're not. You're not going to lose every battle. And you're not going to win every battle, okay? There's always balance. There's always balance in nature. Always balance. Okay? But our main point is, even if you do lose, you're exposing them. You're exposing them because there's other people in the courtroom that are listening to you. And they're going to take what you said and they're going to go home when they're bored one day, or they're going to go home and jump on their computer or smartphone and they're going to look up the things you're saying in court. And then more and more people start doing that. And then eventually we'll start to see things changing on this type of level. Not saying that we don't have to change things physically, but on a mental level, you'll start seeing things changing again. Because look, this is artificial. This is called a park. It's not natural. A park was made by man. It's artificial. It's artificial. See? See? If you live in a major city today, most of this is artificial. Most of this is artificial. Even this in front of me right here was planted by man. Okay? So knowing this, and you're trying to live in a natural state by living healthy, eating fresh foods, getting fresh medical care, getting fresh justice, you're not going to get it unless you stand up and you start grabbing courage and you start challenging these criminal scumbags that they are. All right, check us out at www.cslawinfo.us. It's www.cslawinfo.us. Peace.